At a distance of 3 kilometers from Lingaraja Temple and 5 kilometers from Bhubaneswar railway station, Brahmaswara Temple is a famous Hindu temple located in the temple city of Bhubaneswar. It is one of the holy places to visit in Bhubaneswar and among the best places of heritage in Orissa. Dedicated to Lord Shiva, Brahmaswara Temple stands in a courtyard flanked by 4 smaller temples. The temple belongs to late 11th century according to an inscription carried to Calcutta from Bhubaneswar. The inscription indicates that the temple was built in 1058 AD by King Udyotaksari's mother Kalavati Devi during the Somavamsi king's 18th ruling year. This Hindu temple can be dated with fair accuracy by the use of inscriptions that were originally on the temple. They are now lost, but records of them preserve the information of around 1058 CE. Historians place the temple to belong to the late 11th century as ascertained from an inscription carried to Calcutta from Bhubaneswar. The inscription indicates that the temple was built by Kalavati Devi, the mother of Somavamsi King Udyotaksari. It was built with 4 Natyashalas at a place known as Siddhatirtha in Ekamra, modern-day Bhubaneswar. The inscription was recorded during the 18th regnal year of Udyotaksari, corresponding to 1060 CE. Architecture. The temple is classified as a Pankatanaya temple where apart from the main shrine, there are 4 subsidiary shrines in the 4 corners around the temple. The temple on account of its later origin has a perfectly developed structure compared to its predecessors. The Vimana of the temple is 18.96 meters, 62.2 feet, tall. The temple is built with traditional architectural methods of wood carving, but applied on stone building. The buildings were built in a shape of full-volume pyramid, and then they would be carved inside and outside. The total area of the land is 208.84 square meters. And the temple is built on an area of 181.16 square meters. Plan of subsidiary shrines of Brahmaswara Temple Complex. The basic structure of the Orisan temple has 2 connecting buildings. The smaller is the Jagmohana, or assembly hall. Behind it is the Shikara, the towering sanctuary. Later temples have 2 additional halls in front, one for dancing, and the other for banquets. The Brahmaswara shows quite a bit of affinity with the much earlier Mukswar temple, including the carved interior of the Jagmohana, and in the sculptural iconography such as the lion head motif, which appeared for the first time in the Mukswara. Brahmaswara temple in Bhubaneswar has skillfully engraved Rekha Deol and Jagmohan. It is the first temple to portray musicians and dancers on the outer wall of the temple. Use of iron beams in the temple is also used for the first time. Images of Chamunda. Shiva and several other deities are depicted in the western part of the temple. The temple is a living monument with a deity, which is worshipped and depicted through the saffron banner flying from the top of the temple. The inscription indicates that the temple was built in 1058 AD by King Udyotaksari's mother Kalavati Devi during the Somavamsi king's 18th ruling year. The temple is a living monument with a deity, which is worshipped and depicted through the saffron banner flying from the top of the temple. The temple is built in the traditional Kalinga architecture style by using of stones. The temple is classified as a Pankatanaya temple where 4 subsidiary shrines situated in the 4 corners of the main shrine. This pyramid-shaped temple has 2 parts, namely the Vimana and Jagamohana. The Vimana of the temple is around 18.96 meters. It was during the construction of this temple that iron beams were used by the builders. The Jagamohana is famous for the lion head idols that were first found at the Mukswar temple. The sandstone walls and the wooden structures of the interior are worth mentioning. Brahmaswara temple is renowned for its artistic sculptures, especially for the sculptures in the tower and porch of the temple. Tantric-related images are also placed inside this temple. The exterior walls of the temple are adorned with the figures of several gods and goddesses, carvings of birds, animals and some religious scenes. Exquisite of the carvings is Lord Shiva in the form of Nataraja, playing a veena above a bowl, and voluptuous female figures elaborately bedecked with ornaments.